electric barnyard.
So Cole, last time we saw you, you were at Mohegan Sun, and then a couple days later, you were in New York City, playing Madison Square Garden. Something happened in New York City?
Yeah, you know, I was enjoying myself in New York, and I had a friend from back home. He's married to a buddy of mine I grew up with. She's from my hometown, and he was in New York working. So we were going to this place to grab a bite to eat and a drink. And I left my wallet. I have a habit when I sit down of pulling my wallet, my phone out of my back pocket and putting it on the table. And, you know, in Nashville or Braunwood, Georgia, you can do that, but apparently you can't do that in New York, because I got up from the table literally, dude, 15 seconds, and somebody swiped my wallet right off the table, and there I was about to play Letterman, no ID, trying to get home. I mean, it was dumb, but the thing was, it was the biggest week of my life, so I really didn't. The ID thing wasn't that important, but it sucked to have to, you know,
didn't bother
cards
you.
replaced. No, it didn't. It did bother me a minute, knowing I wasn't going to be able to get on that plane. I was so ready to get home and relax after
What'd you do? How'd you get on the plane? How'd you get home?
We tried a couple of things. You know, I didn't have anything with me. I had all my cards, everything were gone. Like didn't have my birth certificate, anything, because we were in New York. And we went through the thing. The guy, we kind of told him what happened, and we had a copy of my album. That's like the most embarrassing thing. We tried to just prove it was me, do anything we could.
Does that work as an ID?
Absolutely not. So for all future flyers that have an album out that day, TSA does not care. And that guy was not a country fan, but his daughter was, and so I signed that CD that did not work to get me on the plane, and now his daughter has it. So how
did you get on the plane? How'd you ever get on the plane?
Well, finally, after about 2 times him going back and forth, like they were making it hard. I was like, man, I might not be getting on this plane. I'm about to have to call my band and tell them to come get me on the bus. But no, they just made me answer a bunch of security questions and stuff like, you know, your mom's birthday, stuff like that. It was like, man, I knew that, but the year was kind of sketchy. Maybe my first pet, you know, and it's just all that stuff. They asked me my mom, I remember like her first name, and her name is Betty Carol Rainey, and I said Carol because that's her first name, and then I was like, oh my God, it's Betty. Like, they're going to think I'm lying, man. And I was over there sweating it, but they let me on the plane, and we made it back. Now I have an ID, and we're here in Connecticut, so I made it.
Okay, so you got your new ID. So somebody's walking around with your ID, and I was looking at your Wikipedia page because people were talking about this online actually today. And your real name, what's your real name?
My real name, I was named after my grandfather. My name's Colden, Colden Rainey Swindell. Colden Rainey Swindell. So it kind of sounds like a weather forecast. Caught a lot of heat for that as a kid, but now, man, I'm proud of it. I was named after my granddad. He always said not to forget where I came from, and you know, I'm named after him, so that's going to be hard to do.
That's a cool name. We dig it. Cool. Congratulations on your first #1, Chillin' It. And I heard a clip. You said that you're not going to splurge on yourself yet. Eventually you will, but you're going to get your mama something.
Yeah.
What are you getting your mama?
You know, I don't know. I heard she wants a new car, so she's given me everything my whole life, and there's no way I would have been able to make it without her. So the fact that I get to, I wrote that in my album liner notes, the fact I get to take care of her now is pretty cool. So whatever she wants, I don't know what she wants, but we're going to be smart about it. I've never had any money anyway, so it ain't it's kind of new. I just want to take care of all the people that have taken care of me, man. This is, along with country radio, I wouldn't have the #1 without people wanting me to have it. So you want a car? Bro, we got to get a little close. I mean, come on now, it's my mama. So but no, we'll do something, man. We're gonna party and celebrate for this. This is I wouldn't be able to do it without y'all.
Your hat. Let's talk about your hat for a second. Does it say CS for Cole Swindell, or does it say GS?
It says GS, Georgia Southern, man. Everybody, it's funny that people actually think I have my initials on my hat. But
I thought you did the first time I met you. I was like, man, that's disappointing. He's wearing his own merchandise.
I know, exactly. And I'm like thinking back. I'm like, so people that haven't even said that to me think that I really am just walking around with that. And that bothers me. I'm like, I'm not doing that. I'm supporting my college, man. This is where I started singing and playing in bars. So the fact that Georgia Southern isn't a huge school, and people they have it on their website. It says get Cole Swindell's hat. My buddy that played baseball when I was in college, he texted me. He's like, man, when I was there it was our baseball hat. Now it's yours. He's like, that's crap.
Now it's the Cole Swindell hat. People think I'm representing my friends.
Exactly. So but it's definitely a GS. But we're gonna have some CS hats coming to hopefully take the place for people, for the fans and folks that want to support. But yeah, definitely not rocking my initials on my hat.
Who would be on your country music Mount Rushmore? You can pick up to four people.
Okay. Man, for me, I think this is a tough question. There's a lot of artists, but for me, if I'm doing it for people, it kind of depends on what you're basing it on. Like me, I know there's artists that have been a long time before me that have gotten us to this point, but I'd probably put my biggest influences that made me want to, 90s country, I always say that hooked me, and every artist in the 90s, I loved all of them. But then when I got to college, man, I remember I got Dierks Bentley's first album and Eric Church's first album, and Luke, me and him became friends, and it's kind of crazy. They might not seem like they've been around, the longest time, but they influenced me enough to, I think I would put them three for sure up there, Luke, Dierks, and Eric, because I don't know. I texted Dierks the other day and told him I didn't. I don't know if I'd ever made it to Nashville without hearing somebody's music that made me want to write my own. I've always been a fan of music, but to hear stuff that made me want to write and made me want to be on stage, that so I'd have to put those three up there, and then McGraw's one of my favorites, man. So I'd have to put McGraw up there with him. So probably not your typical Mount Rushmore. There may be, there's plenty others that could be up there, but for me personally, they influenced me to want to write my own songs, and writing songs got me here, got me a record deal. So I think Church, Dierks, Luke, and McGraw are it's going to have to be on my.
And now you're texting Dierks Bentley. You bought his album. Now you're texting him.
Exactly, like literally one of my biggest influences. And I'm, in October last year, dude, I'm sitting there playing the Bridgestone Arena with Dierks and Luke Bryan, the two of my biggest influences. So the fact getting up here and getting to do what they've done, man, it's just pretty crazy. But I'm loving that, just keeping in touch with everybody. I'm pulling for Dierks and everybody. I'm pulling for everybody in this format just as much as they're pulling for me. So.